hello, how do you do? Shady Doorags here. Welcome back to Keep It Simple, Shady. I was about to do my usual intro. I am Shady Doorags, and but yeah, this is episode 2, and on this episode I'm going to be talking about noticing the errors of your art. I'm recording this immediately after the first one. The first one I was just doing it, just jumping into it and see how it came out. And I listened to it and I uploaded it immediately. And immediately, as usual, I uploaded. I noticed a lot of things that I did not like what was going on. First off, I was talking really slowly, and you might notice that I'm attempting at least to talk a bit more quickly in this episode. And I always ask myself, why do I do this? Why do I do anything, really? And talking slowly is something I've asked myself plenty of times, and I came up with an answer a long time ago. It's because I like to think about what I'm saying before I say it, and it doesn't necessarily help me, but it's just a precaution that my brain takes. I do the same thing when I'm rapping. I generally rap really slowly, because if I'm freestyling, I can think about it before I rap it when I'm rapping. I haven't rapped in a good while. And that's another thing. That right there, that was it. Did you hear it? Did you hear what I just said? So many freaking ums in the last episode. There's probably going to be some in this episode too. Whoever invented the word why? Did you just feel like making public speaking worse for everyone else? Like, most people are already afraid of public speaking, and somebody just wrote down, it's what you say when you can't think of anything else. I was about to say when there's nothing else to say. No, you will not defile ellipsis like that. And I was this is something I constantly do. It comes more when I'm speaking slowly. When I'm speaking slowly, I say more, yet I tend to speak slowly to give myself time to think. The freaking irony of that. But I'm going to attempt to say a lot less, but like I said, this isn't really scripted, so it's likely that it's going to come up more and more. The next thing was... Snap, I can't remember. Anyway, let's talk about noticing the errors of your art in general. Because this is something I find that a lot of artists do. Especially if you're drawing something. Like, you finish it and you say, okay, it's done. And then if you look at it a second time after you say that, you will immediately spot something that is wrong. And after there's the and I should have an counter. No, keep it simple, Shady. And you immediately, that's my chair squeaking, by the way. I hope you enjoy that noise. And you immediately see all this stuff after you've uploaded. Now, me in general, I'm most of the time proud of my art immediately after I upload it, but that doesn't mean I don't notice the errors. The last thing I worked on before the video, before Keep It Simple Shady. Remember, I'm recording this immediately after the first episode. The last thing I worked on was an art piece. What's that girl's name? Bella. Bella from Clarence, who's freaking adorable. And I uploaded and I was so proud, and I immediately noticed an error. I was like, no, everybody's going to hate this. And then I have to remember, like, only you and people who look for errors are going to see the error, most likely. It kind of reminds me of an Arthur episode where he learned to play the piano, and he was playing really well, and then he made a mistake, but he just kept going with it. And then afterwards, he was talking to his grandma, and he's like, why are they applying? I made a mistake. And she's like, well, nobody noticed. Only you noticed because you practiced it so many times. That actually goes with in something else I've had in mind with vision versus execution. Where I've said this before. I'm going to take a quick drink of water right quick. Where I've gone over this with other people. Where artists see two different pictures all the time. I hesitate to say pictures because they're different artists and different stuff. Like if I'm working on a novel or something. But artists see two different projects at once. They see what they're working on, which is what you see. And then they see their vision. They always see their vision. They're always comparing it to what they're working on. And I've said this while in people's live streams on Picardo that the audience doesn't notice that. The audience doesn't notice that the artist himself is constantly looking at two pictures, and that's one of the worst things you can ask an audience is, does it look good? And one of the worst things you can tell an artist is, it looks bad without any detail. You might say, well, it doesn't look like this, or it doesn't look like that, or something, etc., etc. Anyway, I'm starting to go off topic now, but noticing your errors. The other thing was, I completely forgot a lot of things I want to talk about. Like I said, these are unscripted, but I just heard a noise. Oh, I kicked a box. These are going to be unscripted, but at the same time, whenever I'm thinking about talking about something, or whenever I'm planning on talking about something, I think about it a lot. And I think, oh, I'm going to hit this topic. Oh, I'm going to hit that topic, etc., etc., etc. And in my mind, I have a full-blown conversation ready. But because I talk so slow, I often forget what I wanted to say. And this is so weird. I talk slow to solve the problem, and it actually creates more problems. And I didn't address a lot of things in the last video that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about how... What was I going to say? I wanted to talk about how... I can't remember it now. Oh, that just happened. See? I stopped talking. That's why. Improvisation is rather difficult. And also, apparently, the YouTube algorithm, your longer videos, you want that for the YouTube algorithm. I uploaded the first episode, and it said I'm not placing ads on that. and I just laughed at it. Yeah, my sense of humor. That might be the next video, my sense of humor, because I laugh at just the weirdest things. But stay on topic, noticing the errors of your art. That's why I write the topic down, is so that I focus on it, because if I don't focus, I'm going to go off on a tangent and just talk about various things, like playing connected dots. I have to be able to pull myself back to this topic. And the topic is still noticing the errors of your art, but I have run out of things to say, and my mouth is just moving to kind of prolong the time, because my last video, I was so mad that it was so short. Not just because of the ad thing, but because I wanted to have a full-blown conversation. And, but yeah, I think that's going to be about the end of this video. It's been about 7-8 minutes, so I think that's a decent amount of time. I'll probably try to shoot for 10 minutes, and if I hit the 7-minute mark, then I'll feel comfortable. But these are surprisingly fun to make. Not surprisingly, as long as I keep myself talking, I'm having a decent amount of time. A decent time. So I'm probably going to be uploading these frequently. But I've learned from past not to upload things more than once a day, unless you have a decent following. My following is still really, 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 really small, so they don't want their subscription boxes filled with videos that they're not going to watch. So maybe once a day, maybe once every other day. I know people are looking forward to the MLP videos, and some people are looking forward to the In a Nutshells, etc. So I'll get to that when I do. But that's enough. I'm done. So long. Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen.